Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So we're taking a look into Usdchf. So what we can see here is prices making a huge run on the market. Now we were looking at sell-off opportunity. Now we can clearly see prices wanting to step up to the upside. Now this is all down to the higher time frames being out of sync. So now this is going to, this video I feel like is going to be a little bit longer than usual because we need to discuss the higher time frames. Yeah, I think this will help you give you an insight of exactly what I'm thinking long term for this pair. So as we can see that price is starting to make a way to the upside, there's no doubt about this. We need to see some sort of retracement at some point, but I don't really want to discuss that right now. I want to take a look at the higher time frame. So we can see here that price has got all of this way to the upside to our next zone, which I think is a very key fundamental high. So it's at 0.9900. Now for price to come to this point, it would actually be an invalidation towards the downside. So essentially what I mean is I think that effectively price at some point will make a way to the upside and then a return to the downside, which we were anticipating from the last few weeks or so. Now I'm not saying that price is going to carry on going straight up, no, because come on, like we need to understand that price action needs to make a retracement at some point. So as we've discussed in our previous videos, if you have watched some of them from this week, we've seen that price is making a way to the upside. Now for us to see a healthy trend in the market, we need to see some sort of retracement. Now price needs to come down at some point in order to continue to move higher, and that's just a natural form of a trend, and that's just how price action needs to play out in order to make a healthy trend. So as you can understand now that price is clearly stepping up, ultimately what we're going to be doing is waiting for a chance in the market for price to step down, and it can do something like this, etc. We'll just denote it as a down move. Before we can get that move towards the upside. So what we can anticipate in the market is, at some point we'll get a retracement before we get that continuation move higher. So this is just something that we can look at for this week. There's going to be a turning point soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week or next week or so, but something just to consider. And then we can look at at potential buying points, but I don't think the buying point will be anytime soon. I do think that it's going to take a few days or so for the buying opportunity to come to fruition, but we can see that as price is stepping up, to the downside there's a good 200 pips if price does obviously go to here, but yeah, so we'll take a look at the RSI why I'm thinking that price can make a way to the downside. So we can see that the RSI indicator is stepping up, and so it's overbought. We just need to wait for confirmation that we are seeing a shift in the downside now. So again, this is why we have to tie in price action with our common knowledge with the indicators. Again, this is just a momentum indicator. We don't take a trade based off of the RSI. Again, this is just something just to add to our thoughts, to our bias. So again, it's all about building a case study for your trades. It's not all about just taking any random trades because a certain thing told you to do so. So as we can see, price on the RSI indicator is indicating still stepping up. There's some possibility that we can keep in mind that price can make a move to the upside still. So it could look something like this, and then we get that change in direction. So like I said in our previous videos, that this can happen, so don't be put off if this does happen again. And tying this in with risk management, you should be fine. Again, just wait for that shift in the market, and of course change in price action as well. So with that being said, the long-term vision of this pair, as I was mentioning, is that we want to see price continue to the upside. I do think it's going to take a lot for price to eventually take a turnaround. So I'm just going to take this ever so nice steady and take it through the weeks. But essentially we could start to see, after we make this move to the upside, another temporary change to the downside before we get the move to the upside, and then, you know, ever so slightly we could get something like that. But, you know, this is essentially what I'm trying to say is I don't think that price is going to continue to move above 0.99. Now, in terms of, you know, a retail trader, you know, this is a lot. This is 750 pips here. I'm not saying that most traders hold trades for this long, but, you know, the long-term move, if you really do want to know, is, for me, I think that there is a potential move towards the downside, which is much stronger than the upside. Again, this is based on the higher time frames, but as we can scope in and use the 4 hour, we can actually take a look at multiple moves throughout the market and really take advantage of all the moves as much as we can in order to fulfill the higher time frame bias. So as we know that price has the potential to still continue to move up higher, we can use that knowledge to take and hold potential buys if you really do want to hold buys. But again, it all comes down to your trading plan and your preference on when you take out your profits. But, you know, we are still looking for moves to the upside at some point, and also to the downside at some point as well. So I hope that kind of gives you a bit more clarity of where I'm looking at the market for the long term. In terms of the short term, as you can see here, we can just focus on this prior move here. So ultimately, we're just waiting for price to shift to the downside, have a small correction before we get that move to the upside, which again, this would be the second move. Ideally, just focus on this move here to the downside. So again, a lot of information here being discussed about Usdchf, but the next time that I update it, it will probably be within the market, full market analysis. And again, I won't have to discuss the, you know, long-term vision again. All I have to do is just, you know, redirect you to this USD Swiss franc video, just to give you a clarity, well, a peace of mind of what I'm thinking, and, you know, long-term scale. So yeah, I do hope this video does give you a bit more of an insight of where I'm heading, and also for the next few days or so too, on a short-term perspective. But again, there's a lots of pips to be made. I just can't. I just want for you to understand that as well. That you don't have to always worry about missing a move. There's lots and lots and lots of opportunities to come your way, just as long as you're patient and ready for the next one. That's all that matters. Okay, guys, so that'll be all from us from this video. If you do have any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or reach out to me. We do also have a trading group that you can join. Link is in the description, of course. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I do appreciate your time for watching. So thank you very much for listening, guys. I'll see you all in our next video.